Hey guys, it's SF and welcome to Monster of the Week. This week it is Night of Eternity from the news promotion of the NA Monster Strike. And let's look at the abilities. So Ethereum Slayer, so monsters like Fenrir, Visceron, and Felmane are Ethereans. Gage is a no warp. She is a Pierce monster. Strike Shot is a bash and a laser. And then Bump Combo is a Spread Piercer XL3, which is she's also a blast type, so it's even better than the normal Spread Piercers. And stats are not that bad either. At least over 20k HP. And I'll be using her in her own dungeon basically. And there's another reason is for my Make It Easy team, I did put a Kushinaga there. At this time, I don't want to bring it, just to make it a little bit easier. In terms of making it, Isun is also an easy dungeon. Takayasha might be the hardest because you want to ascend her, and her dungeon is kind of hard for people who are not used to it. And of course I'll be talking about Eternity herself. Okay. But the main point about Eternity is getting close to enemies and dealing damage with her bump combo. It's basically her main use. There's not much in terms of strike shots, in terms of other playstyles that you want to do. You just want to use her Pierce, her Pierce style to actually get close to enemies and then deal damage from that, from very close. So, of course, it is bad in terms of if you get too close, then some enemies have really short range powerful attacks. Especially like Eternity with her Spread Shot. That's really close, and then the 8-way laser is really close, but you just gotta clear her before they clear you. But she does really good damage for a farmable monster in my opinion. Strike Shot's not bad in terms of damage for her short spread, for her short cooldown. Because the cooldown for her Strike Shot is around every 2 rounds. Around every 2 rounds, it's 13 turns. Not 2 rounds, every 3 rounds. And it's mainly for positioning near bosses. So if you see a chance, then just use it on a weak spot if you get the weak spot, and then you'll be really close to for a bump combo, which is basically her main power source and stuff like that. And so far, I'm doing really well for some reason. Of course, Lucy is a big help. But Isun is also good for the Demon's Bane for the Angler. That's why I brought Isun over like a Death's Coil or something like that. Because you want somebody to actually go towards the Angler and deal damage to the Angler. And the bump combo. So Isun has a Spread Shot, I think. I don't think it's a Spread Piercer yet. So his main ability is a Demon's Bane, and then his bump combo is a Spread Piercer. It's a normal Spread Shot. It is a normal Spread Shot. So if the ability is on the base, so there's no Gauge Shot, then the Spread Shot will actually proc the Slayer, so it does 1.5 times more damage. Same with Eternity. So if there's an Ethereum monster out on the field, then her Spread Piercer will deal 1.5 times more damage if it hits her. So right now, I just need to clear off guys and basically get away from the Angler. So Isun, just get the hell out of there. And then since Isun's really close to the Angler, if there's a weak spot, then I'll go straight for it like that. Wait for the Angler and deal a lot of damage to the Angler. But let's try to clear off those wind machines a little bit, just so that I can have some space for Eternity's Strike Shot. Guess not. Ouch, that hurts a lot. let's use it. No. Like I said, it's mainly for positioning. Let's see the damage. Not bad. Like 67k is not bad. And let's grab the heart. I kind of want to clear the angler off with that, but it's alright. But a 13 turn cooldown for a 67k bash is not bad at all. It's really strong in my opinion. And of course, you'll mainly use it for positioning, like that. And if I can get there, then that would be a lot better, but guess not. Let's just go side to side and actually go down a little bit so that I can hit Lucy there. But that's alright. I do have a heart, which is really safe for me. And I can always strike shot. Ouch, that hurt a little bit. Next is the spread. There's a gold heart, which is more than enough. I'm going to strike shot just to deal some damage. But people have been asking, is it worth to max luck? Is it worth to max luck Eternity? And my suggestion, it really depends on your playstyle. So if you can beat extreme consistently, and I mean like consistently, like at least 90% of the time, then I say go for it. She's worth it in my opinion. Of course, she'll never come back, and she's you won't get this in JP. You do have her in like other versions in Taiwan and Korea, but you won't get this in JP hopefully, unless they start stealing it. But if you can't get to extreme, can't beat extreme very well, or you don't have the time, because it's really time consuming in my opinion. It's really time consuming, and there goes that spread. That is a big spread, but it's really time consuming. And if you can't play more than like 2 or 3 hours a day on an average week, then you're pretty much not going to get it unless you local co-op. So that's why if you're soloing and you can't really play for more than 2 or 3 hours a day, then I don't really suggest you can actually max luck it. And then if you can local co-op, then of course go for it if you have friends and stuff like that. And let's see, let's deal damage to the angler with Lucy's bump combo. And then I do have the time. I can max luck it, but is she really worth all that time? Is she really that strong? And I gotta be honest, she is not crazy strong. Like, of course there's replacements like Orochimaru and like stuff like that. Although Orochimaru is like not that high up in people's wheelhouse in terms of in terms of max luck. So, but even still, I suggest go for it, because if you have the time and there's not much else going on right now, and it's really good for like beginners with their first max luck. Let's strike shot again. Not bad, 77k, and it is a 13 turn. And let's just go for the angler a little bit. And like I said, it's all about that weak spot for Eternity. This is a little sketchy, but should be alright. There we go. And that bump combo really helped out for that last 2 shots. If I didn't, then if that didn't come out, then that would have probably died. But she's not the best, but she's not the worst either. Like, if you're like a collector of max lucks, then I say go for it. But if you do have the time, I say go for it as well. She's really good in Izanagi for max luck. She's good at Krishna Zero when she comes up later on in the future. So that's 2 impossibles that you can get. And Krishna Zero, there's not much max lucks in the future that is really good for her, unless you're going into impossible territory. For Extreme, she's for Eternity is one of the best ones for her as well. So, and in terms of what form, the Knight of Eternity is the best one, but you can also make the other two, or actually max select the other two if you cannot get to that Ascension form, because the last one, the Ascension materials for the Ascended form, is really tough because it's really RNG with the goldfish. I know people might have max selected already and still don't have the materials for a Knight of Eternity. I think get a little bit lucky. So but it's basically both the same, but Ascend is the best just because of that bump combo difference. The Spread Piercer does do a lot more than the other two. The other two forms, Spiral has a rebound spread that doesn't pierce, and then what's the other one? Haven is just a normal spread shot. They're both bump combos, both strike shots are the same, and then the abilities are the same, and the stats are the same. But it's just that main bump combo difference that makes Knight of Eternity the best one out of them all. But there's not much difference. You only get like, I don't know, probably like a few 100,000 more damage out of the Knight over the other ones. So if you don't care about it that much, then you can go for the other ones and then hopefully get enough materials for the last one. But like I said, I think she's totally worth it. You have the time. If you have the time, then go for it. If you don't, then just get one of each, and yeah, and then use it on Kushina Zero and Izanagi. And then like all the other Ethereum bosses have warps, like Visceron and Fenrir all have warps in their dungeons as well. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.